Okay, I did some Googling and I found out what check means. When the check is on the dash, that means that it's checking the system, checking all the safety features, and by the kickstand switch being bypassed, when it goes to check it, I guess it's showing that the switch is not made all the way, and the neutral, like I said, I had a problem with the neutral light not coming on when it's in neutral, so it can be between the two. So now everything on the dash is clear. I put some coolant in it, and now I'm getting the fuel pump, and I'll show you. So we know the fuel pump's working. I'll shoot some gas at it. There we go. So it's between the neutral switch and this kickstarter switch, kickstand switch. Because right now my neutral light's not on. It's in neutral. So I'm still gonna play around with the key switch though. Gonna have to swap that bottom out or whatever. Because when I hook up the aftermarket switch, the bike don't do anything. Lights come on, but it don't do anything. So I'm gonna have to take all that back out, swap that over. I could send the switch back and try and find one that has the same color code like the original one, but it's supposed to fit this bike. So I don't know about that, but we do know the pump is working, and we know the coils sound like they're all working, and the bike will run. So I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna work on getting the fuel pump back in the tank, and I gotta fix the fuel line. They cut the fuel line and the quick disconnect off, so I gotta fix that so it can connect to the fuel pump, and should be good to go. I put some coolant in it. I don't see any leaks all over the floor, so we'll see what happens. It's just a process of elimination. You know, you gotta mess with these old bikes and cars just like anything else, just to make them run. Alright, so I looked at about 100 of these key switches online, and all of them's got the same color code, wiring and everything, and I couldn't figure out how to swap them around to get that bike to run. So I took it off. I was going to actually take the bottom part of the switch off. It's just these two screws, and the whole electrical part of the switch comes off, and then I was going to drill these rivets out, oh, that was the key, and put this bottom on the new switch. Then I got to looking. Well, if you take these two screws loose, I think you can probably change the cylinder, the lock cylinder, because both of them made the same. They got little Phillips head screws. So I'm gonna take, I don't want to take the new one apart, some blast out of there and I can't find it, so I'm gonna take the old one apart. Let's see if we can, what we see. If we can just change the cylinder, that'll be better, because I won't have to try and drill these rivets out and mess up something. Well, that's the top part of it. It's the top part where the key goes in. Did this come out? Yep. Cylinder's out. And the half a broken key is still in there. So let's take apart. I better leave the key in there, because I bet you if I pull this cylinder out without the key, the little tumblers, because they're spring loaded, they're gonna fly out of there and I'm gonna lose them. So we'll leave the key in there. Let's just pull this switch apart. If we can get by doing this, that'll be great. So if you guys are working on one of these bikes and you're running into this problem, like I say, I looked at a bunch of these switches, and all of them, they got different company names, but they all got the same color codes that's supposed to work. If you run into that problem, you can just change your cylinder. So it looks like the whole thing coming out. Come out slow with it. So let's try and put it. I wonder, should I put some grease in there or something? Because this switch was kind of hard to turn over. Gently lay that down. Let me see if I got some kind of oil or something. Let's see. So it looks like it's got to line up. Look at that. Look at that. So we got the new lock cylinder and the old switch with the new key. And I bet you the screws are the same. I think I'm going to use the original screws. Because they got like little lock washers made on them. Man, and I was just gonna do all that work, drilling and hammering and look at that. And if you push down on it, the steering wheel or handlebar lock works perfect. The key come out, look at that. So the old switch with the new cylinder and keys, correct color code, go right back on the bike. So I'm gonna get this back on there, and like I say, move on to the gas tank, and we'll see what she's gonna do then. All right, ladies and gents, it's time to fire up the Suzuki GSX-R 750. So hopefully this thing fires up and runs like it's supposed to. As you see, I got the fuel line on it, got it all hooked up, gas tank on, airbox on. I even hooked up the tool model. I put coolant in it yesterday. So let's put some gas in it. Still got a lot more stuff to cook up, but right now we mainly just want to get it running, and hopefully the gas tank is not leaking. I did patch it, and we rust treated it. But you know how gas is, it's so thin. Y'all let me know if y'all see any gas leaking. Can't see under there. So far, so good. I don't want to put too much. Let's see what the fuel pump pick it up. Oh, I heard it pressure up. Sound like it pressured up. Don't see anything leaking. Way over there. Alright. Choke on. got a fuel leak. Fuel leak coming from the tank. How's this? Looks like it might be another hole in the tank. Oh, that sucks. Fire right up. I think it is. Can't really tell. Put the light up on there. Crank it up again. But motor sounds good. Might be a few holes. Try to put some up under here where I can see. You know I see something. Man, that sucker fired right up. Where it was leaking from, it was leaking pretty steady. Pressure fuel line coming from the throttle body. It's leaking. Must be that O-ring inside of the fitting. Sounds good though, but I gotta fix that fuel leak because once I let the tank down, that quick connect right here, that's where it's leaking from. Some of those have O-rings in there, and I bet you the O-rings are bad. As soon as I swivel the tank down, I don't know if it's just putting pressure on there, but it started leaking fuel. But once that fuel pressure built up, man, she fired right up. gotta be the O-ring in there because that hose is wet. So let me take that quick connect back off. Make sure the O-rings inside is not pinched. That's the only, I thought it was the gas tank. But I think it was spraying up. So, well, anyway, you know it runs. So, let me fix that fuel leak and then we'll fire it up again. I think we fixed it. Like the O-ring inside of that quick connect was kind of pinched. So I took the hose off and shoved it back on there. Plus those O-rings are probably just hard from it sitting. I think one of the fuel injectors are leaking because it looks like it's spraying from, I don't know if y'all can see in there, it's kind of foggy. It's like from the back of the fuel injector. Maybe the O-ring and the fuel injector is not seating. It's real hard to see in there. Let me get the tank raised up. I seen a drip and then it started smoking. But other than that, man, this thing sounds good. Seems like it might have a small coolant leak. Have to check those hoses. See that injector right there is wet. I bet you one of those O-rings is not seated because it's wet right on top of that fuel injector. I don't see any of the other ones leaking. So let me see about, I guess we're moving that injector. I thought it was the fuel line, it looked like it was. Leaking out where it plugs. Might be leaking internally. See how that injector's all wet? is coming out of the injector. I just so happen to have an extra one. But man, that's for the fuel rail. It really ain't too bad. I actually got an injector repair kit too. I wonder if I turn the key on. I guess it only release when it's actually working. When it's spraying the fuel. Well, if I crank it, it's not going to run on that cylinder. Might throw a code. What I'm going to do is probably just take a rag and put it on this fuel line. Spray all that gas off just to make sure it's the injector, which I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So let me check that, and if I have to take the fuel rail off, I'll let y'all know. I think it's coming from right here at the end of the fuel rail. I think there might be an O-ring behind here. That's bad because it's drips right out the end of it. So I'm gonna take those two screws out and see how it dripped. I'm gonna take those two screws out and see if there's an O-ring behind that flange. That's where I believe it's leaking from. I don't think it's the injector. I think it's just running down onto the injector and the plug. So pop that off. Might have to replace the O-rings, probably just old, but you can see right here it's wet. Alright, let's see if we can get these screws out. Use the impact driver. Tried a regular screwdriver and that wouldn't work. Man, those things are tight. I got a feeling that's where it's leaking from, so we gotta get it off. Woo! Those are tight. Got another bit, but that one's too big. The only other option would be to change the whole fuel rail. I really don't want to do that, but that screw will not come loose. Somebody might have already been trying to. That one came loose. There's always one. There's always one that come loose and the other one be stubborn. That one ain't having it. I already see the gas leaking out of it. Might have to attack that with some vice grips. gas on there. Shooting metal and gas everywhere. That screw is super duper tight. Change the vice grips. Try it one more time, maybe we got it loose. This bit is not exactly going down in there far enough. No. Let me get a chisel. Turn. Yep. We'll be replacing that screw with something. I'm not even going to take an O-ring out of one of the other ones. I'm just going to get a new O-ring for it. Make sure there's no fuel pressure. Like beating on it like that though, but gotta do what you gotta do. How about I move the camera back? That way it won't spray all on the camera. There we go. That's an O-ring. Round O-ring. It's probably just flattened out. Seems like it's kind of flattened out hard. So let me grab an O-ring, or find an O-ring, and another screw. If I can get one out of the other fuel injector rails, a screw rather, we'll replace it. Hopefully that fixed the leak. So I got this O-ring, says metric O-ring, 1440 piece kit. See if we can find one that size. This O-ring, by the way, it's hard. It's got a crack in it, and it's dry rotted. It's no good. See what we can find. It's a little bit too thick. If you can't find one in here, I don't know what to say. Even though they're all mixed up, because that's how they came. It's got to be that same thickness. Does that look like it? Same diameter. It's not as thick, but I believe that's gonna be the best one I can find. Because the rest of them are like super thick. That won't work. That's way too big. I'm gonna have to go with the one we got. I don't see anything else. That's the same one. So I guess we'll go with this one. Make sure it's clean. It's a little loose, but it'll shrink down once I get it on there. Let's stick it back in there. Chair back. Oh, I still gotta get a screw too. Let's see how tight it is. It's not as tight. Maybe the gas is kind of like lube. It's definitely thinner though. It's the same diameter. Only thing we can do is try. If that don't work, then I'll have to go get my other O-ring kit at the truck. It don't hurt to try. Another screw. One on the other fuel rail came right on that one. One of them did. I did it by hand. I really don't trust using the other O-ring because it's probably in the same condition. Gotta be tight, but not He-Man tight. Let's hook this fuel pump back up. Alright. I might have to let the tank down a little bit because the gas is like at the bottom of the tank and then fill it all the way up. Rubber dropped off there. Put that in my pocket. Let's see what we got. It's kind of hard to see. Prime it back up. So far it's dry. Might just be can't get it out. Residual. You know what I mean? see what happens.
Probably just get the right size O-ring. That one was a little skinnier than the other one, but I think I can order the right one for it. I hate to be riding this thing and start leaking, stuck on the side. Well, I got the headlight to work. There was a fuse that wasn't seated all the way in the fuse box. And the charging system's working because the light up when you get it. It's at 143. I think it said it should kick on around 220. The cooling fan. Got some kind of leak right here. Checking to see if the cooling fan's gonna come on. Pretty sure it will. had to let it sit there and run for a long time for it to come on. But they say it comes on around 220, 225, but it actually came on around 216, so that's good. I mean, that's really below what they were saying on the net. So we know the cooling fan works, charging system. So next we got to get that shifter. It didn't come in today. I guess because of this bad weather we got cut this fan off. I guess because of this bad weather, the mailman's not running on time, but it's saying it's here in Memphis, so the only thing I can do is wait. And I might tomorrow see can I go ahead and look for a tire, and then I can put the chain on, and the front brake calipers stick a little bit. I noticed that when I pushed it in here. If you hit the front brakes, you gotta kind of tap on the calipers to free them up. I don't know about the back, but and then just putting all the plastics on it. And like I said, once we get some warm weather or somewhat warm weather, and the ice clears, we'll get it out and test drive it. So I'm gonna shut it down for now and see what we can get into on it the next day. See what we can do to it once all the parts come in. So y'all just hang tight. The GSX-R 750 Shred will be back on the road, or S-Rad as they call it. Alright y'all, later.